Good afternoon, and welcome to the workshop, Standing on Our Own, a Blueprint for Building Wealth. The United States finds itself in the midst of the worst financial crisis since the Great Depression. Right now, Main Street America is suffering immensely. So today, our final workshop, Standing on Our Own, a Blueprint for Building Wealth, it will be an instruction and a theoretical workshop aimed to equip Main Street with the tools not only to navigate during times of financial calamity, but to build financial prosperity for the future. It gives me great pleasure to introduce these next two panelists because they are near and dear to my heart, but I'll stick to the script. Professor Carter is a resident of Chicago. He's a graduate of the University of Illinois and Washington University in St. Louis, where he earned his PhD in economics. He is currently the chair of the social science department at Olive Harvey College, one of the city colleges of Chicago. Professor Carter can be heard every Saturday on the Urban Business Roundtable, and also on Dollars and Cents with Curtis R. Monday, presenting his weekly segment, The Economist's View. Please welcome Professor Rasheed Carter. Let's give him a round of applause. And our next panelist, after 8 years as a State Farm insurance agent, Curtis R. Monday is one of State Farm's prestigious select agents with his firm, the Curtis R. Monday Insurance Agency, grossing nearly $500,000 annually. Now, before starting the Curtis R. Monday Insurance Agency, Mr. Monday received his bachelor's from Northern Illinois University and his MBA from Illinois State. Every Saturday, he uses a holistic approach, which includes embracing social consciousness and spiritual health from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. on his show. Mr. Monday focuses on helping the community develop strategies for building wealth through means ranging from insurance to entrepreneurship on his program. With a balanced portfolio worth approximately $1 million, Curtis R. Monday is a strong advocate for long-term planning, as he has with his own destiny. Today, Mr. Monday will give you the blueprint to creating wealth and controlling your destiny. Now, Mr. Curtis's theme song. Welcome.
Can you hear me okay? You got me? Okay, let's get it started. Good afternoon. All right. Dollars and cents. Let me get show of hands. Long-term VON listeners. I'm talking about 1450 AM. Let me show your hands. 14. There you go. 1450. How many good fella VON listeners do I got? There you go. The good fellas. Herb Kent. Purvis Man, the Blues, good guys, my fault. The good guys. My age shows. Show of hands, who listens to Dollars and Cents? Let me see you. All right. I appreciate you. I had to get out this stage. I don't really like the stage. Dollars and Cents is a show that was created for the people, by the people, so I want to be up close in front with the people. We've had a lot of great presenters and a lot of valuable information. And so, on behalf of Professor Carter and myself, we want to introduce this topic, this conversation, this discussion, Standing on Our Own, a Blueprint to Building Wealth. Next slide, please. Objective. We have three major objectives here today. First, to ask the obvious question, why are you here? What brought you out today? Second, identify current economic and financial realities that we are faced with in mainstream America. Third, discuss potential strategies for success, a blueprint. Let me kind of set the stage a little bit about expectations. We wanted to foster or create an environment where we're going to have a conversation. We want to lay the groundwork or the framework for you individually to build upon. Theoretically, a blueprint, a detailed schematic, an intelligent design. It's something that's created for a particular reason or a purpose. People create a blueprint for a couple of different reasons. One, perhaps the existing model of something is broken. Perhaps the existing model of something is inefficient and it requires you to retool it. There's this parable that I heard that talks about in biblical times, there was a goat skin, and the goat skin held wine, but you couldn't pour new wine in the goat skin that already had the wine, because the new wine would cause the goat skin to stretch and overflow. Sometimes you need a new blueprint to redesign things. Another reason why we have a blueprint is perhaps we need to create something new in response to an obvious problem. But nevertheless, there exist some components within a blueprint. A blueprint requires a detailed understanding of the current state of affairs or situation one is faced with. A blueprint requires cooperation, collaboration among its members, its experts, to take an inherent look at what's going on and to come up on a consensus, an agreement as to what should be the objective going forward. Blueprints really, when you really think about it, that process of learning what's going on really gives you a heightened sense of awareness, which actually leads to empathy. See, when you have empathy, you identify with something, you're able to connect with it. You don't see yourself set apart. And you'll see that coming up as a consistent theme in this topic, in this seminar, about the connectedness, the psychology that we must have in order to achieve this blueprint of success. Next slide, please. Why are you here? I contend you had a matrix moment. Show of hands, who's a movie buff? Who likes movies? Who likes movies? I love movies. Anyone who knows me, I'm really silly. You know, my spare time, all I do is watch movies and quote movies. But Matrix, in the movie The Matrix, there's a scene where Keanu Reeves' character has a discussion with Lawrence Fishburne. And in this conversation, Lawrence Fishburne basically says this. He says, if you take the red pill, your eyes will be open. You'll see reality. Or you can choose to take the blue pill and go right back to sleep and go right back to slumber. Prior to this meeting, Morpheus, Lawrence Fishburne character, appealed to Keanu Reeves, Neo's character, on this basis. He says, you feel something. You don't quite know what it is, but you feel something, some uneasiness. Can't quite put your hand on it, but you know it's there. We're here for two reasons. One, it hinges on this thing, what I call a matrix moment. You feel something. You can't quite put your hand on it, but you feel something. There's an anger that arises when you turn on the news. You hit bailouts. No one's bailing you out. There's a certain discontent, a certain uneasiness when you go to work and you wonder if this is going to be your day, that you actually get that pink slip. You feel something. You don't quite know exactly what it is, but you got something. You're getting ready to go into your matrix moment. We're getting ready to take the red pill. Next screen. The reality of it is that your feeling is warranted. Let me try to illustrate why you are here and the realities that we're faced with. Next screen. First, why you're here, a reality. Unemployment. Unemployment, the notion that you have to go to work one day and potentially get the information that you are now unemployed. The national unemployment rate is 9.7%. Here in Illinois, that unemployment rate is hovering at about 10%. But we know minorities, specifically African Americans, what goes on the national level really doesn't speak to our reality. So let's speak to our reality a little bit, Professor Carter. The unemployment rate for non-Hispanic whites overall is 8.8%. Now, this is not a situation where we're trying to pick black versus white, but we use non-Hispanic whites as a basis because, truthfully, they're the standard. So let's look at the standard in comparison to where we are. Their unemployment rate, 8.8%. Males, non-Hispanic white males, aged 20 years, unemployment rate 8.6%, and women 20 years and over, 8.6% unemployment rate. You see less than the national average. Where are we at? Unemployment rate for African Americans. Overall, 15%. If they're doing bad, we're doing doubly worse. Next slide. Males, 20 years and older, 16% unemployment rate. Women,